It's a common belief that you can't be both wealthy and spiritual. If you want money, that you are greedy and materialistic. And if you're spiritual, of course, you wouldn't need money for any sort of reason. Now, this is incredibly painful to believe and harmful to hold as a belief within ourselves. I'm Briana Borten, and I help people awaken to their highest selves. Please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell to get alerted when I post a new video every Monday. So, can you desire money and be spiritual? Yes. So here's the thing. We can desire money, have abundance, have wealth, and be spiritual. There are spiritual lessons in all things, correct? So when we look toward the spiritual lessons in money, to me, it's learning to receive while being unattached, just like how we receive all things, right? If we want to receive freedom, if we want to receive peace, if we want to receive love, we allow ourselves to open up and to allow the universe's energy to flow through us without grasping on. Now, this is one of the biggest lessons that we get to learn through cultivating abundance in our lives, which is how to hold an open hand without grasping, clenching, holding, or making it mean more than what it really means. We add the meaning to all of life, and we've often added a lot of meaning to money. So can we be spiritual and wealthy? Yes, of course. They are not mutually exclusive, and they are not interdependent. So here's what I mean by this. We can often think that if we are one, then we cannot be the other, right? So that's mutually exclusive. They are not mutually exclusive things. We can be both wealthy and spiritual. Now, the other thing that people can tend to do is to make them the same, right? That they make them interdependent on one another. Like, if you want to be wealthy, then you need to be spiritual. Or if you were spiritual enough, then you would be wealthy. Now, we can look out at the world and just simply say that that is absolutely untrue. But we would see a lot of people bringing this message into the world to say, well, if you want more abundance, then you just simply must connect to the universe more, be more spiritual, as if it is indicative of your spiritual path how much money you have, which is actually absolutely untrue as well. They are not interdependent, and they're not mutually exclusive. Another thing that I see happen quite a bit, especially since things like The Secret came out, is people choosing to use spirituality as a way to get more money, as a tool for wealth, instead of becoming spiritual because it's simply the calling of their soul, of their heart. This is like getting into a relationship, a romantic relationship, because you want the other person to provide for you, to give you things, to take care of you, rather than entering into the relationship for mutual love and adoration and care. Now, it may work short term, but it actually isn't sustainable. And in the end, I think it often makes us feel pretty empty inside. So even though I believe that we can both be spiritual and wealthy, I really encourage us to be spiritual for the benefits of being in relationship with the universe, with the divine, with our own inner self, more than using it as a tool for getting more. Being spiritual won't make you abundant, but it may give you the tools and deep understanding of how to open and receive from the universe lovingly and in flow. Right? So it isn't that it doesn't support more abundance in your life, it does, but it's more that the deep embodiment of the spiritual practices, of the spiritual ahas and understandings actually is just relevant to also receiving more from the universe. When we believe that we can't both be in connection with the divine, with the universe, with our inner self, and be financially abundant, it's usually because we have decided that money is bad, right? So we have a false narrative that finances, that money, that cash, that abundance is something that should be frowned upon, that is something that actually turns down our energetic frequency. When we hold this narrative, we often then feel guilty when we have money, guilty when we want money, guilty when we spend money. All things around it hold shame and guilt and heaviness, and definitely stop us from feeling peace. Peace in our hearts, peace around abundance, peace around our lives, because most humans, I would venture to say 90% or more of us, actually do interact with money in some way to create the lives that we have, and also, and we'll get to more of this in a moment, to create the world, right? To create what we want to see outside of our lives happening in our community, happening in the world, happening for the environment, all of those things. But if we're really honest about the way that we feel when we have enough money, when we have abundant money. Abundant to me means enough to share, right? I have enough money for me and enough money for sharing. I have overflow. I can help the organizations I care about. I can pay people more to do things, in my life. So when we really feel into, without the guilt, without the stories, without all of the conditioning that we may have had, if we can get to the root feeling in there, we actually quite like it. It's a peaceful feeling, an experience of rightness, openness, calm, connectedness even. Like, oh yeah, here I am. Without all of that, I can feel really just connected to flow. And I think that one of the things that happens is that we are not honest about this experience. We want to kind of fit in with our culture, with our society, with our family, with our friends who maybe also believe this way or have been in lack mentality or experienced a lot of scarcity. And there is this way in which we join the crowd, if you will, to hold this belief that money is bad. And we hold money as bad because then it makes us good when we then don't have it, instead of experiencing it as just what it is. Money is just money. We get to add the meaning. But when we experience the truth of what it actually feels like to have abundance, it feels quite lovely. It feels quite lovely inside, right? Now, it feels quite good, but money doesn't complete you, and it doesn't need to. You are enough. You are worthy. Your soul, heart, spirit is already abundant. It is connected to the vast, expansive, abundant universe. How could it not be innately abundant already? And so you are already enough. You do not need money to complete you. It just gets to be extra, right? It's just in abundance. Abundance in abundance, right? And that is exactly the way abundance works. Abundance is only abundant if it's in abundance, right? And so really feeling that our soul would never want us to be in scarcity. It actually is, in and of itself, an experience of abundance because it's connected to the vastness of the universe. And so the thing that makes us feel scarcity or turn toward deprivation in that way is actually not our soul, not our spirit. It is our ego. It's our ego that feels limited. It's our ego that wants us to cram us into the smallest facets of the universe and identify us in that way. It's our ego that puts us in a box and says, you are like this, be like this, act like this, you are like this, you are this. That is our ego that does that, not our spirit. Our spirit is like, all of it. And our ego is like, yes, much of it, right? And so when we think about being spiritual and also abundant, to me, it makes sense that they would work so well together. It's like our spirit is like, yes, more of the universe, more experiences, more of this, more of life. Not necessarily more stuff, but maybe more ability to help others, ability to go see the world, the ability to plant trees. Now we get this idea around money that it's materialistic, that everyone with a bunch of money is going to want to, ruin the planet and buy private jets and do things that are actually harmful or create an impact on the planet that creates harm. But I actually don't believe that we lose ourselves when we have abundance. I think it just is amplified. Everything just gets turned up, right? And so if when we don't have abundance, we don't give a shit about the planet, then when we do have abundance, we don't give a shit about the planet. Those things go together. It just gets more, right? So if you care now about the world, about other people, about the planet, about your connections to things, about recycling, about those kinds of things, you will still care when you're abundant. That does not go away. And we've come here on this planet as humans to experience a human life, to experience this world, to wake up within matter and experience with our senses, to experience more of ourselves, to experience more of each other, to experience more of the universe, right? And we do that more freely when we are not confined by logistics that money actually free up quite a bit. And we need more awakened people with money. So as I was saying, they are not mutually exclusive, nor are they interdependent. Being spiritual is not going to make you rich, and being rich isn't going to make you spiritual or not spiritual. But they can exist side by side, and we need more awakened people with money, more people that care, more people that have a vision for the world where we are standing up for human rights, where we are protecting this planet, where we are really shifting things so that we are no longer being controlled, that we are for the freedom of all beings. And can you imagine a world where the money is in the hands of conscious, awakened people? I can imagine this future, and it's not just something I imagine, it is something I am working toward. I want to create more awakened millionaires, more awakened people with wealth to share that can put their money toward the causes that really need it. If this is calling you, if you want to be one of those people, if you're like, yes, I want to awaken my consciousness and I want abundance, I want to create a world that meets my vision of peace and love and awareness and deep care for one another, then I really encourage you to join me on this beautiful journey that I am leading called Awake and Abundant, a course in becoming. We start February 1st. It is going to be so incredible. And if you want to be in that container with me, I will put a link below in the description so you can join us within this community. We need to remember that money is not good. It is not bad. If we use money to enhance our lives, to enhance the lives of others, to enhance our vision for the world, then it actually becomes a really powerful spiritual tool. If you liked this video, please like it, subscribe, share it with your friends and family. I'm so grateful I get to hang out with you in these videos. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. I'm sending you so much love.